Will we say categorically that the oil companies are obliging to what the association demands to ensure that 30%, like what you said, of contractors coming to this island gets to indigenous contractors?
We are not seeing anyone. We are not getting it. It's very open and obvious. We are not getting anything. In fact, coming to that area, we will not hesitate to let you know that we are marginalized by the companies. Just as I said before, they took our simplicity for granted.
Hello viewers, welcome once again to Think Tank TV. My name is Moses Waribo. Did you know the Local Content Act establishes the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, saddled with the responsibility of providing guidance for the compliance of operators within the oil and gas sectors here in Nigeria? Today we have the Indigenous Contractors Association here in Bonny. We're going to be hearing from them to tell us how far they have gone with the compliance of the oil and gas firms in awarding contracts to indigenous contractors here in Bonny. Before we commence, if you're new to this station, ensure you do well to hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and tell us a comment on how we can be of help to you. We have on set the chairman of the Indigenous Contractors Association, Amaopu Senebo Rogers Opunna. We also have on set the Public Relations Secretary in person of Mr. Walter Long John. We're going to bring them on set to tell us how far they have gone and the developments they have so far. Join us to make welcome on set the leadership of the Indigenous Contractors Association. Welcome, sir. And thank you for joining us
Bless
today.
you, my son.
Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Walter.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we have an overview of what your association is? What is the Bonny Contractors Association about, so that our viewers can know what the association is about? And you can also do well to give us a brief intro of yourself.
Okay, so thank you very much for having us.
Yeah.
My name is Walter Long John. I'm the Publicity Secretary for Bonny Contractors. And then, so Bonny Contractor is about Bonny Contractors, actually. Nothing more, nothing less. To bring our people together to be able to do jobs in Bonny, not outside yet, but Bonny. Whether they are skilled in the job or not, to improve the livelihood of our indigenous, our community, by the contract they do here and the development they bring to the kingdom. Okay. So that is what Bonny Contractors are about. And it's not just the contractors, it includes the average market seller, it includes the business owners, you know,
MSMEs.
Yes, the SMEs.
Okay.
Or everybody is inclusive in all the Bonny Contractors Association.
Okay, so the Bonny Contractors Association, before you begin to talk about an association, we want to know if there is any policy that guides you. Is it a registered body with the federal government or with the state government, so our viewers can know as well?
Okay, for Bonny Contractor, it is duly registered with the CAC way back in 1997.
Okay.
Way back in 1997. And recently, most recently, we had to reiterate the registration by bringing in and by registering it with the local government to affirm what we already have during the period of 1997 and today, to merge them together.
Okay, so it's registered with the Corporate Affairs, right?
Yes.
Also registered with the Bonny local government area here.
Yes.
So do you have any empowerment from the kingdom to support the registration of this, or to say if this association is recognized within the kingdom? Can we know about that?
Yes, we have first the backing of His Majesty.
Okay.
Fully backed by His Majesty the King, who is giving his 110% support to the association. And we've seen it over time with the support and the link that is set up by the BKLCCC, that the Bonny Kingdom Local Content Compliance Committee, that His Majesty has set up to work in hand in glove with the Bonny contractors. So we have the support of the kingdom.
Okay, okay, that's a good one. So can we know about other associations as well? We have the NCDMB, which is the board that is saddled with the responsibility of ensuring that local content is complied with. Can we know the relationship you have with this board? And do you have a good, smooth working relationship with them? And how far are they being of help to ensure that this association is put on the line?
The Nigerian Content Development Monitoring Board, which is the NCDMB, we have a good relationship with them. In the first place, that's why the NCDMB, the BKLCCC is set up, so that they can interface between us and them. Yeah. That's the Bonny Kingdom Local Content Compliance. That's why they're set up, so that we can have an interface between them and us. We've also had other relationship with them by registering with the NCDMB as local content companies in Bonny, so that we can have good rapport with them so far.
Okay, so you think the NCDMB has done enough for your association to ensure that what should be fully gained by members of the association should get to them?
Well, if you put it that way, I would say a yes and a no. A yes in the sense that they've said from the Nordic law, 30% derivation is supposed to come to the Bonny Kingdom from the EPC. Now, so far so good. They've done that part by saying, okay, register Bonny, the Bonny contractors come and register with us. We want you to register so that we can give you your share of the 30% derivation of the total package of the contract shared from the EPC. They've done that part. We also have issues with other persons who claim to be Bonny, who have also gone to register with them. We've asked several times to give us the audience the privilege, our right to be able to determine what we have with them.
Yeah.
To determine first who are our contractors, who do know our people. Nobody knows us better. You cannot claim to cry more than you believe. We know our people. So for that aspect, I would say no. They've not done that. Not had that good rapport with them. Even when we liaise with the BKLCCC, they've suddenly turned the BKLCCC almost like a toothless bulldog by doing their things, by shielding them and taking. Yes, they brought the BKLCCC gave them lists, but we on our own feels that some of those lists have been infiltrated by even non-indigenous who claim to be indigenous. And we've said, bring it out. Let's be able to fish them out. You understand? We're not saying Nigerians cannot benefit. They have the 70%. But let's have our 30%. Let's know that this 30% belongs to us. And so we can determine whether we can use it or not you. If you need your help, we'll tell you you can bring people who can help us. But let's determine who our people are inside so that we can move forward. Not telling us that you already have our list. They don't allow us to see the list that they claim that we have. If you say it's Bonny's list, it's not a hidden thing. All of us should see it. We should have a knowledge of it, even from the BKLCCC. They should have knowledge of it. It's not to say we have done it for you people. We're at this time and age where we all have social media. It's not ideal. So yes and no for that.
Okay, I'm Sir. Can we hear from you a little about the overview of the association you're chairing to know what the relationship is as to addendum to what the publicity secretary has said as regards the relationship the association has with BKLCCC and the NCDMB?
Yes. Taking from what the publicity secretary had said, I will only join voice to confirm all what he said. That is true. And before we talk of the national body, we have to talk about the one set up by His Majesty. That is the BKCCC, Bonny Kingdom Local Content Compliance Committee, which His Majesty, in his infinite consideration with his chief counsel, set up for the interest of people of this kingdom, not just indigenous contractors alone, open to whosoever that wants to do business. BKCCC is an organization set up to streamline all this and fully dependent by us, the indigenous contractors. And as indigenous contractors, we are duly registered, just as the publicity secretary said. Since 1997, we have been working effectively with all the companies from Trend 1 to 6. It is from this Trend 7 the companies put us under shade. That is bridging our relationship with the place BKCCC to handle the affairs of all activities concerning Trend 7 on the island. The situation we are now, if we get up to say we have good relationship with them, partially I would say yes. But why we don't want to follow that step is because we are very conscious. By the special grace of God, we are not where the non-indigenous kept us. As if we don't know our rights. We know. We don't want to follow that. We know that they have been trying their best, but could not get what they wanted from the companies. Why? His Majesty and his council, they have laid down principle the indigenous must follow as a policy. We all should also follow to maintain law and order.
Okay, so how
Now,
okay.
as it is, because of the attitude of the companies wanting to divide us, rule us, we trade with consciousness, not to create problem. That is why I say it is partial. You understand? Our relationship with them is partial. It's not cordial. Since we are not getting what we wanted from them. And knowing very well that if we follow it in a manner that will not bring good results in the community, especially creating uproar as matured people, business people, well integrated. We trade with consciousness. This is why it looks as if the community is not benefiting. And at the same time, I want to let us know that indigenous contractors were advocates of the commonest man, not just the common man, in the kingdom. It's our duty. Now we are here. We're advocating on behalf of the people so that we all should come together, have common voice to avert the idea of these companies who see us as or take advantage of our simplicity and obedient to the throne as foolish people. This is it.
Okay, thank you so much, Amos. So, Publicity Secretary, can we know how many you guys are in the association?
Okay. First, you cannot say that we are this number, because that would be wrong. You cannot count Bonny Indigenous who do business and contracts. We have all them, many of them.
Registered members as it is now.
Yes.
Yeah,
so, as registered members, we are over 200 or more within that range, 200, 230. I can't figure it out completely, but around that 200, 230. So we are about that amount now. But even at that, we also accommodate rather business owners who are Bonny Indigenous too, that do business, who are not fully aware or not fully informed yes, of the association. So we also take them, if they come around, we just tell them and try to see how we can bring them in. Yeah, but we are for all Bonny, and Bonny is for all of us.
Okay, so we have different number, a large number of small businesses around Bonny Island, which I believe should be over 2,000, right? So can we hear why your association has not been able to get all these number of businesses together to be able to have one front, have one voice in order to achieve the aim of the association?
Of course, I will tell you one that if you talk about achieving the aim of the association, we've done much, achieving much, but more needs to be done really. In the sense that we need to bring our brothers who have businesses around. Of course, you can't force these things. You need to talk to them. You need them to be aware. You need them to also come to the same page, see what you're saying, and to key into the vision you bring into them. So far, we've done very well by taking them out of their shell, bringing them to where we are. But we'll see there are persons who still feel reluctant, who, of course, their businesses are small, and so they feel that I'm just selling. I'm just selling maybe pepper, I'm just selling rice. So I don't need all those drama. I just want to be. So we just tell them, no, this is not what we are saying. We want to be able to protect your interest, your overall interest, whatever you have. We want to be able to cover you as a Bonny person completely. So we're not pushing it like it's you must, but we're making you see the dream and the vision that the kingdom has for you, the blueprint that the kingdom has for every Bonny Indigenous who is a business owner.
Okay, so I'm talking about, we have the NCDMB also, who is supposed to ensure that what is duly indigenous contractors gets to them. Will we say categorically that the oil companies are obliging to what the association demands to ensure that 30%, like what you said, of contractor coming to this island gets to indigenous contractors?
We are not seeing anyone. We are not getting it. It's very open and obvious. We are not getting anything. In fact, coming to that area, we will not hesitate to let you know that we are marginalized by the companies. Just as I said before, they took our simplicity for granted. From what you asked the publicity secretary, let me throw a little light, add it to this. Just as he said, we have been trying our best, but we are still trading with consciousness because the situation we are in Bonny today, we need to educate the market woman, the artisans, skill and unskill on the island to know that what we are advocating for is not just for contractors alone, but for everybody. Why? For instance, they are talking about increase of workers' salary. It will affect the contractor because his markup will increase. Is it false or true? Fine. The market woman who sells pepper will benefit from it. Why? He needs benefit. And if the companies comply with us, all this area of the populace will benefit from it. But in this case, we don't even have access to the company. They do not even reply letters we sent to them. So they don't even listen to whatever we say. We can provide series of letters we've written to LNG before the advent of this very 27 on this island. Are you getting me? So the companies did not oblige to it. We only hear it. It's like news. Our people, as indigenous of Bonny, we are just suffering in silence. Why? We want to duly follow the policies laid down by His Majesty. Bonny is peaceful and will always be peaceful when the citizens are loyal to the rules of law provided by His Majesty and His Council of Chiefs, which we are doing patiently. And again, this was why we don't want to bring in all areas of this association, like the pepper seller, the market people, put them in general. Because the moment that is done, what do you think? There will be uproar in this kingdom. Then it will look as if we are inciting or creating problem. His Majesty won't be happy. Not the local government chairman too will be happy. And this is why we are trading with consciousness and following things gradually. This aid will help us cry to people of the world. We need help. We really need help. So, from what you ask, we are getting nothing from the company. When one, they can't reply our letters, no interface, no conversation, it's totally phenomenal.
Thank you so much, Amabu Sanibal. So let's talk about the economy of Bonny Island. You talk about them increasing salary, giving a markup for contractors who are going to be duly getting contracts if the salaries of workers are increased. Do you not think that that's going to affect the generality of the economy of the town? Because not everybody has access to the company. There are people who are doing their own personal businesses. So when other workers who are working in companies have access to most of this fund, their income begins to increase. What about people who do not have access to the companies to work there?
Okay. That is why we talk about the social responsibility of the company to the community. We need to look at the balanced view of what the company can provide for the community. We talked about the market seller. Of course, obviously, those people who sell and who do business, small scale SMEs around the town, will not be able to match what is being done in the company. That is true. But if the company bring their development, their corporate responsibility down to the people, then that gap will be marginalized and will be minimized rather to the barest minimum. And what that means for us is that even the average person who does his job, maybe computer store, will be able to go to the market and buy. For example, we're introducing what they call the hydroponics farming in Bonny, where everybody would be able to do some measure of farming within their environment to help caution the effect of high price of feeding of food in the market. So if the company brings on their corporate responsibility, train some of our youths or some persons who are in the kingdom to do certain things, it will help caution that kind of effect. Secondly, if you look at what is happening in the kingdom or the country at large today, you find out that there's no really way you can take out the high cost of demand. The cost of living today is everywhere. So no matter what the company provides, it will still affect. But we're saying that the company should be able to do certain things, do their responsibility to make sure those things are cautioned, which of course we've not even seen, we've not felt the impact of the company at all. For example, we keep hearing that about $500 million job has been done. I can tell you that there's no one single impact in the community. No one single local contractor has been able to come out and say, I have done this. This is what we are asking. If you say you've given some of us some things, please let us know. Let us know. It's not a hidden thing. If you say you want to hide it, okay, what of the Bonny contractors? Can they see it? So that you can say, okay, you've given our people A, B, C, D. You don't do this divide and rule. You don't say this is the person you want to give, or you don't say this is the person you've given, but you will not tell us. Even to go and check our name in our database, if your name is among the people who are enlisted for the contract job, they don't allow it. They just ask you, and what is your name? You tell them what your company, you tell them, you go and say, you did here, you're not there. So these are some things we don't want. And so because of that, it's really affecting the overall economic issues in the kingdom. And you can see that if not for the fact that the Bonny contractors have been able to manage the situation properly, you would have seen a real trouble.
Okay, so one of the last questions I want to ask is about the 27. We hear about 27 all around. People say 27 has started, 27 has started. We've done series of interviews, but a lot of people have not been able to tell us categorically if the 27 has started. Perhaps you may be our savior. Can we find out if the 27 has started?
Okay, on that aspect, I will tell you honestly. I would say I know that 27 has started. The reason is simple. We, as you see some things working, like I said, they do it. They say it has started, but we're not feeling the impact. Money is still the way it is.
So, can we have the message you have for contractors or indigenous contractors who have not identified with your association so far?
Well, the message, I think, as indigenous contractors leader for now in the kingdom is awareness. We all should keep our pride aside. Take glory of God has given to us. And also remember that all the names we are answering, all our surnames we are answering today in Bonny was achieved unanimously. Alison is not your father's name. Abe is not your father's name. Hart is not your father's name. All those your surname was achieved by great thinkers of Bonny, not in a sluggish manner. They came out in their masses, unitedly, fought for this glorious island. It's the same thing we are appealing that every one of us should come. Bonny has been an international center before most of our fathers were born. And people of today, out of pride, counting class, and creed, were unable to maintain what our forefathers kept for us. So I'm appealing to every one of them, they should come out. When they come, they should ask their class, we will put seats for them. If for a PhD holder, we have seats for PhD holders. Master degree holders, we have seats for master degree holders. ONG, within all classes, we give you seats. I will honor you.
So they should come together.
Everybody should come together so that the association will achieve. Okay. Because we are marginalized, oppressed, and what belongs to us is taken away from us. Later, we will go by the side, criticize ourselves, gossip, blame ourselves. They forgot that we are planted by God in the center of epic and floating tide. So shall this 27 will come and go without achieving anything as a result of our attitude, which we use to condemn every good thing that comes around us. We are appealing that every one of them, big, small, should come out and support the good idea of His Majesty for creating Bonny Kingdom Local Content Compliance Committee, known as BKCCC, that was put in place to assist us achieve the benefit of this project. That is our appeal. We pray God should help every one of them.
Thank you, Mokube Bossa. So, PRO, or Public Relations Secretary, can we hear from you how far the company's compliance with the Section 4 of Local Content Act? Has the company been compliant with this act to ensure that indigenous contractors are carried along in their operations?
Okay. Simply put, no, they've not. They don't even care. They've tried, they've done it their way without consulting, without asking. They just do it their way. They've not communicated to anybody. They've not followed the process as stipulated by the NCDMB. They have not done any of those ones. The company has not met any criteria of the NCDMB.
Okay, so I've asked this series of these questions to the majority of the people we interview here. Can we know if the 27 project has commenced?
Well, I will tell you that, honestly speaking, I would say I don't really know. But if it is here and it is working, then the company is shady. The companies are doing things on the ground by being shady, thereby marginalizing the community that they are working, that they are operating on. And that is not good for them, and it's not good for business, and it's not even good for the community.
Wow. Okay, so one of the last words you are going to have opportunity to say is to the companies. Should these companies go ahead with this 27 without properly carrying along indigenous contractors in their operations and the contract? What is your association going to do?
My brother, I mean, that one is a tough one. I mean, you cannot expect to push a man to a wall and hold his throat to that wall and expect him not to react. We're not fools. We're not dullards. People in Bonny are intelligent people. If you check our history from time immemorial, you find out that we produce many educated persons. Bonny has been the hub of Nigerian economy. Not today, from the time we were tapping palm fronts till today, to the oil, to the booming of oil. So those companies should understand that they cannot play and take us for granted. So what I would say here is that they should realize that when pushed to the wall, for every action, there is going to be a chain reaction. Of course, we will always go back to the community, to our traditional institution, we go back to the local government, even the security agency, but they should understand that we have our legal teams on standby, waiting to see how we can move forward. We're not sitting down. And they should also understand that if they go by that action, Bonny people will not sit by watching them. Definitely, we will not sit by watching them. We will always react because they would have pushed us to the wall, and of course, they would have been expecting a chain reaction, and that will bounce back.
So I believe that sometimes these companies will come up with reasons why they have not carried the community along in their operations. Should they say the indigenous contractors are not capable enough and do not have the requisite know-how to handle such contracts? What is your answer to them?
I that their business. Yes, sir. How is that their business? The aim of having an indigenous company that they feel is not competent, how do they know? You give them a job. We are saying that give us our scope. Let's know what we have. That's where you start judging us from. If you say that you ask a man to wake up in the morning and sweep ground, that's his job. It is only when he does not sweep it, you tell him that he has done something wrong now. So you give him his scope. We want to know our scope so that you can tell us there and there that we don't know how to do it. There are many competent companies in Bonny. We have the Bonny Chamber of Commerce. We that also have people, technical know-how of technocrats, of people who have been in this industry for so long. So how can they say that we don't know? It means that shows that they're also shady. If they say something like that, they are being very shady. And moreover, we are supposed to grow. We are supposed to learn. So if you say you're not giving us the opportunity because you feel that we don't know, I mean, that is an insult in this place. That is not their place to judge. Bring our scope. Tell us what our 30% is. So that when we see it and when we're doing it, you come and tell us if we cannot do it or not.
Wow, thank you so much for joining us today on SECT. I would like to ask you one last question because on Think Tank TV here, Think Tank TV is about a live television station, and we believe that whatever we do here, we do well to send a message to our viewers to learn something about life. So I'd like to ask this final question. I'm going to ask the both of you, but let me start with you.
Okay.
What is your definition of true success?
Okay, a successful man for me is one who everybody around him is successful. It's not necessarily wealth. I do not believe that university is also necessary for works of education. Because I do not believe that you have to be so much to be rich. But if everybody around you, your community is growing. For example, a man who there's a waterlogged area, he comes to fill sand and build because he has given way for another person to also enter and fill sand and build. And you see development, that's success for me. Everybody grows. Eat and let's eat. Everybody grows. So it's not about one person having money. That's why we want Bonny Kingdom to key into the blueprint of His Majesty to make Bonny Kingdom what Bonny Kingdom is expected to be. That everybody grows. That the average Bonny person, educated or not, benefits from the kingdom.
So I'm open to one last question to you too. Would like to ask you the same question. You know, different people have different definitions of success. For some people, what they call success is amassing wealth, building tens of houses, and buying fleet of cars. I'm open to please tell our viewers what your definition of true success is.
True success in the real matter is collective effort that gives you progress in your daily activities. Let me break it down. When we talk of economic empowerment, especially an island like this, break it down into three places. The youth, to be mentioned first. They need job. When they are well led, they'll be rejoiced in the kingdom. It's achievement of success. The middle class people who shade themselves out of employment face industrial activities and the entrepreneurship. When they are well placed in the community, from the proceed, we realize from these God bless activities is also achievement and is success. So the aged men and women who could not even see their frontage, what they realize from their well-to-do children will be extended to them. Because if you don't achieve, you can't produce. That is it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amabusen, for joining us today. Thank you, sir. And Engineer Walter Long John. Thank you so much for having us today. And we hope you always come on set again to get interviews from us. So viewers, you've heard it all out, the true definition of success. We urge you to do well to click the like button, click the subscribe button, do us a comment telling us how we can be of service to you, and we're going to be here to serve you. My name is Moses Waribo, and this is Think Tank TV. Thank you so much.